Hello, everyone out there. Welcome back to Charles Legal Services. It's been a while since we posted a video. It's been a busy few months, but we're here with another installment of our educational video series. Once again, my name is Nathan Charles. I am the managing partner of Charles Legal Services. I'm a 2001 United States Naval Academy graduate. Did about 9 years total of active duty on as a U.S. Navy SEAL. Also served the country as a Defense Department strategist and as a federal prosecutor. We're here to give you some lessons today on how to not go to prison as a private military contractor. This is a very important topic. There's a lot of people out there that are using their skills as a veteran to do some really good work in the world. And again, we're actually not even talking about just work as a private military contractor today. We're also talking about laws that could affect your status as a doing international humanitarian work or other types of overseas activity. These are always things that you need to keep in mind if you're doing any kind of work overseas, especially in a war zone and in any kind of area of conflict. There are a lot of different types of laws that could apply to you as a contractor overseas. We're just going to go over a few of them today. There's not nearly enough time to cover down on all of them in a video of this length, but we're going to talk about a few different types. Counterintelligence laws, for one, international sanctions, neutrality type statutes. We'll explain that in some detail, and then also terrorism offenses. These are statutes that you could find yourself on the wrong side of relatively easy as a private military contractor, and so you need to be aware of these types of statutes and steer wide of them. So the first ones we're talking about are counterintelligence laws. Traditional espionage and the mishandling of national defense information, which is classified information, but also can be a great deal more. Those are covered by the Espionage Act of 1917. These are very serious offenses. The United States relies on these for its own international security and foreign policy, and these are things that could land you in a lot of hot water. They also cover other matters of, even if you're not necessarily dealing with sensitive information, it also covers activities as a foreign agent if you are inside the United States. These are definitely things you need to watch out for. If you are doing something that could be construed as something that you're doing on behalf of a foreign nation, you need to be aware of these types of statutes, and you need to seek assistance in dealing with them. There's also the Foreign Agents Registration Act that primarily deals with propaganda. If you find yourself advocating for any sort of a foreign nation, that is definitely something you need to be aware of and something you should seek help from an attorney. International sanctions. If you are providing anything of value to someone overseas, you need to make sure that that person is not a specially designated national or is otherwise sanctioned either directly by a statute or by a sanctioned regime that's been promulgated by the President of the United States under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. The Trading with the Enemy Act goes all the way back to World War I. It's been updated a couple of times and superseded in some ways by the International Emergency Economic Powers Act more recently. I could teach an entire lesson on the history of the Trading with the Enemy Act and how it led to the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, and we're not going to do that now. But these are statutes that are quite powerful. You need to make sure that the services you're providing do not run afoul of international economic sanctions. So another set of laws that are pretty similar to the economic sanctions are export controls. This is a set of laws that deal with the exportation of defense articles, including weapons, body armor, other types of things like that. Also, the export of dual-use items, items that have an industrial purpose and may be used widely in industry throughout the United States that also have some sort of military application. These export control laws will also cover down on those dual-use items as well. And where people get a little confused on this and sometimes get themselves into trouble is that these laws also cover down on defense services. That includes military training to foreigners. So if you are overseas providing any sort of training to a foreign audience, make sure that you've got the proper licenses in place with the State Department. Neutrality statutes. Again, the Neutrality Acts going all the way back to the founding of America. These are statutes that prohibits Americans from traveling out of the United States and going abroad to fight against a friendly nation. And friendly nation doesn't even necessarily mean a nation that we get along with well. It's any nation that we are not actively at war with. This is something you need to be very careful of. You cannot leave the United States and go forward overseas for the sole purpose of fighting against a friendly country. You got to be very careful of that. And sort of a corollary to that is the Logan Act, which also goes back all the way to the beginning of the United States. That prohibits Americans from negotiating with a foreign enemy country on behalf of the United States. Only the President of the United States and his duly appointed officers are allowed to do that. As a private citizen, you are not allowed to go forward and negotiate with a foreign country on behalf of the United States. These are statutes you can easily run afoul of, and you need to steer wide of them. Terrorism offenses are next on our list. You need to be careful that anything you're doing overseas is not supporting an act of terrorism. And then, quite similar to that, you can't do anything to support a State Department designated foreign terrorist organization. If you are not sure what a foreign terrorist organization is, you definitely need to ask for help, and you need to make sure that anything that you are doing overseas is, and even anything you're doing inside the United States, is not supporting a foreign terrorist organization. If you don't know what that is, you definitely should ask somebody before you go forward and do anything. Again, you do not want to play close to the edge on these types of statutes. National security crimes are very serious. They come with heavy fines, sometimes decades-long prison time. Espionage is actually even still punishable by death if it occurs during a time of war. So this is stuff that you do not want to mess around with. And even if you don't necessarily go to prison, you could find yourself administratively debarred, unable to do business with the administrative agencies of the United States government. That can be extremely costly. Not something that you want to get involved in. Definitely something you want to avoid. And again, these statutes are definitely call to mind the words of Benjamin Franklin: "An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure in law and business." Charles Legal Services is here to help you. We are really good attorneys who also happen to have a ton of experience overseas, both doing humanitarian aid work and service in the combat zones. I am not aware of any other firm in the entire United States that has the unique combination of legal experience and operational experience that we have in this firm. If you are concerned about any of these things, if any of these topics, make any of the slides that we've covered before make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, you need to get in touch with us. You need a legal guidance in terms of whatever it is that you're doing overseas, and we're happy to help. We are a veteran-owned law firm. I'd say vast majority of the people, the men and women out there who are doing this type of stuff are also veterans. We want to make sure that we help you stay on the right side of the law and maintain your patriotic duty to the United States along the way. We would love to work with you. Reach out to us. CharlesLegalServices.com. Can't get any simpler than that. Again, www.charleslegalservices.com. We are always available to help. Please reach out to us. We'll keep you doing the right things for the right reasons. Thank you very much. Have a great day.